You've been listening to the Flow Friday Sports Show, and welcome back here on to the Flow FM airwaves. And it is time to take a look at the North Central Netball League. And joining me on the line is the president, Kylie Walsh. Plenty to chat about, as always, Kylie. How are you getting on?
Good, thank you, Alice. Yeah, it looks like all the away teams took the A-grade Scout Saturday under very windy conditions. So, yeah.
Yeah, the home teams have had the nips a few times this season, haven't they?
Yeah, they have. But, yeah, it looks like the away teams were the dominant ones.
All right. Well, let's take a look at what was the games that took place in round 12, and we'll start with Sea Lake Nandali, who took on St. Arnaud. The final score here, 36-48. So a big day out indeed for the St. Arnaud girls. Just give us the play-by-play here, Kylie.
Yeah, as we thought, it was a terrific confidence booster for both teams, and it was tight from the beginning with St. Arnaud goaler Georgia Taylor became more dominant in the ring. Sea Lake Nandali Tigers made some minor changes within their quarter allocation, but it was terrific to see that it was a close game with the Tigers on the chase, but St. Arnaud held onto their lead and were rightly rewarded with their first win of the season. So congratulations to St. Arnaud, winning 48-36 over the Tigers.
It is a huge result. Now, another game that would have had people up on their seats is that one between Witchy, Proof Narraport and Bort. Now, gee whiz, Kylie,
yeah.
What a finish this one would have been. We'll talk more about the circumstances that currently surround the Witchy Narraport girls, but boy, oh boy, did they almost pull off the unthinkable.
Absolutely. What a cracker of a game this would have been. And I was eating my words thinking that Bort were going to have a comfortable win because I did not see that final score happening. So fair play to the Demons to having an absolute crack at the top of the ladder leaders. And like last week, Witchy Proof Narraport appeared to get their combinations right for this game and slightly tweaked some of their combinations, which worked a treat. Even Bort's gun import, Renee Karras, didn't seem to faze the Demons team, and Bort had to pull up their socks this week and ride the wave of the contest that was in front of them. It was probably a great challenge for Bort at this stage of the season, getting a really good contest throughout all facets of the game, but Bort drew on their trust and confidence with each other and sneaking home with that 4-goal win over the Demons, 37-33. So what a great game.
Would have been a heart-stopping one for Bort there, and it'll certainly give them something to think about going forward, which is exactly what we want in this competition.
Absolutely.
Yeah, no doubt. Now, Donald, they played Wedderburn, and I was brave enough to suggest that they might go on and get a result here. And, well, they put 54 goals away, Kylie, so at least they were somewhat competitive, but in the end, Wedderburn just too good, 67-54 in their favour in the end. Wedderburn get the chocolates.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it was a high-scoring game for both teams, really, and Wedderburn certainly stamped their authority on the game from the first whistle with Holly and Eliza Lockhart. Both had their eyes set on that ring, but Wedderburn had a slightly different look down their defence end from previous weeks, but they didn't seem to be too phased with their new combinations into their mix. And the back half of the game, each quarter was very close, and in fact, Donald won the third quarter. All credit to them. Donald tended to play more of a confident game, altering their defence end, combining youth and knowledge, and I guess that pace and guidance certainly was beneficial for them. But the game was clearly a lot tougher than I anticipated, but Wedderburn, their composure and trust within each other certainly shone through with, like you said, a 67-54 win over Donald. So it was a great game.
Charlton undone at home by Birchip Watcham. It continues to be the case that Charlton just keep being narrowly defeated, but, they're never sort of out of the game. In the end, the win going the way of Birchip Watcham. So what were your takeaways from this game here?
Yeah, look, both teams attacked the court with enthusiasm pace, and it was evenly contested across all aspects of the court, and the scoreboard was mirroring that. The Bulls were missing their mid-court player, Sabrina Taylor, this week, who would typically created more space around the mid-court and allow freedom of play. But all 14 players on court Saturday were rightly placed against each other within their roles, but Charlton just weren't able to lift at in that pivotal third quarter, and that allowed the Bulls to gain pace and confidence throughout the game. But Bulls should be pleased with that win over Charlton, and like I said, it was a 10-goal win, 44-34.
Now, before we move on to the fixtures tomorrow, Kylie, just fill us in on exactly the situation that the Witchy Narraport girls have going into this weekend, because we know that it's pivotal for them that they win their game against Birchip Watcham, and it's going to be a crunch game too. So what's the story there?
Yeah, absolutely. So, Witchy-Proof Narraport play Birchip Watcham in Birchip, and Witchy-Proof Narraport have a lot to lose and probably more to gain with this game. They really need to win this game to stay in touch with the four. There are 2 games out, so they really need to win this. My gut is actually telling me that the hunger of that carrot dangling in front of the Demons put a bit of fire in their belly, and they'll use that over Birchip Watcham. And I actually think they might have a sneaky win over the Bulls, because they've got a lot on the table this week.
There we go. Well, we'll certainly be in for a bit of a firestorm, it seems. Now, before we get on with the fixtures that we're dissecting for tomorrow's round 13 games, there's a junior update that you've got to bring us to, Kylie.
Yeah, that's right. We've got some great news come through this week, and I'm very excited as both NCNA president and a coach to have witnessed how much our juniors have grown over the past 12 weeks. That's from our little net set goers through to our 17s. But also watching some of our juniors take on the senior ranks and take it in their stride. It's really also satisfying to see our junior rep players represent themselves and our club and our Central Netball Association so positively. And this week I'm thrilled that some of our junior players have been recognised and given the opportunity to trial at next level netball. So North Central Netball Association sends out our congratulations and good luck to Libby Thompson, Stevie Henderson and Zali Angel, who have been invited to trial at the Northern Zone Academy program in November. And we're super thrilled also that Jenna Angel has been invited to trial for the 19 under Victorian State squad in October. So it's such an amazing achievement for all 4 players to receive these invitations, but also what an opportunity to trial at next level netball. So our NCNA fraternity wish them all every success in their future endeavours and hope that they relish in the opportunity that's coming up.
Huge amount of talent going around the traps, isn't there, Kylie?
Absolutely, yeah. Wonderful to watch.
Fantastic. All right, let's talk about the round 13 games, the other round 13 games. Before we do that, actually, Kylie, I better get your tip with that Birchip Watcham Witchy Narraport game. Who's going to win it?
Well, yeah, I think my gut's telling me that Witchy-Proof Narraport will have a sneaky over a very tight contest over the Bulls. I think they've got a lot to play for, so that's going to be their driving force, I think. All
righty. Now, St Arnaud, they're up against Charlton. I guess you would be pretty brave to tip Charlton because they just don't seem to be able to win. And St Arnaud, well, we know that they pulled off a huge result last weekend.
I'm going to be cheeky game and I'm going to tip Charlton. I hope this will be a great positive game for both teams. And I know St Arnaud, like I said, have come off their first win, but I think Charlton was feeling pretty positive after their close game last week. But I'm tipping Charlton over St Arnaud.
Oh, your tipping game is just messing with my head at the moment, Kylie. Now, Bort up against Donald. It should be straightforward, but while they might be a little bit hard-pressed, Bort, after that uncomfortable finish last weekend.
Yeah, absolutely. And I don't think Bort will muck around with this game because Donald have really grown over the season and maturity on the court. But I think Bort will get their netball faces on and get what they need to get done, and they'll have a win over Donald.
Another very interesting game is Nullawal up against Sea Lake Nandali, only because Sea Lake Nandali got that win last weekend. So I don't know, does that change your frame of mind when it comes to who you're tipping in this game at all?
No, I think it's just a neighbourly rival between the two. I think it'll be a close game, but as long as the Tigers stay positive within themselves and stick to their game plan. But I think that Nulla will be refreshed after having a bye last week, and they'll come out firing, and I think they'll take the 4 points from Tigers this weekend.
Bit of an after party on at the club as well for Sea Lake Nandali this weekend, Kylie. The barn dance carnival. What do those kinds of events go down like in country netball clubs these days?
Pretty good. If the footballers have a win, that will get their festival going, the barn dance going well. But I think there's a fair bit happening around. I know Bulls have got their auction, goods and services auction as well. So not sure what's happening with the other clubs. But I think if the Tigers boys get up over Nully, that will be get them dancing away, I think.
Yes, one to look out for indeed. Well, Kylie Walsh, Walsh, great to have you on the show again this week, the president of the North Central Netball Association. Very smooth operator, and thank you for your time. We'll speak to you next week.
You're welcome. Thanks, Al.